Hi everyone, I'm KHOU 11 meteorologist Pat Cavlin coming to you from Houston, Texas. And this is a look at your tropical update on Sunday, August 28th, 2022. First, we'll start you off here with a wide look at the satellite on the map. And you can see there's really not much going on. We've got a cluster of storms here in the middle, cluster of storms off the west coast of Africa. But for this time of year, this map is remarkably quiet, at least at first glance. But as we look ahead over the next few days, that's when things could start to get a little more interesting. The National Hurricane Center has highlighted 4 areas of interest as we get into the last few days of August and the first few days of September for potential development. But even though this map looks really busy, there's only 2 areas that we're going to be focusing on at least over the next 5 days. One is this red spot here in the middle of the map. That's got high odds of development. The other one is in the Caribbean. Low odds for development, but close enough to the United States at this time of year we got to keep a very close eye on it. This one here to the east of Bermuda, likely to fall apart the next few days. And this one all the way out towards the west coast of Africa, still about 2 weeks away from any potential impacts if it were to develop in the United States. So now we're going to switch over to a computer forecast model on the wide shot. And we're going to follow each of these blobs, each of these areas for potential development over the next 5 days. What we have plotted here is atmospheric spin and low pressure. The low pressure is the white lines. The more white lines they are, the lower the pressure, the stronger the system. And the red blobs indicate that atmospheric spin, that 500 millibar vorticity for the weather nerds following along at home. So there's the area in the Caribbean. There's the spot with high development odds in the middle of the Atlantic. There's the spot that's just coming off the west coast of Africa, and there's that small area of interest here just to the east of Bermuda. Let's put the forecast into motion over the next 5 days. That area near Bermuda falls apart, that's gone. So now we're left with 3 big players on the board here. As we get into the end of the week, pay attention to the timing here. This is Friday, September 2nd. So now we're going into Labor Day weekend, and we can have 3 potential areas of interest on the board. One in the Caribbean, the other here just to the north of the Antilles, and the last one, again, this is the wave that's just coming off the west coast of Africa. That would be in the middle of the Atlantic by Friday. Of these 3, the one that we're going to focus on first and the most detailed that we're going to go into is the one here in the Caribbean, which could be interacting with the Yucatan as we get into Friday. So again, this is 5 to 6 days away. So right now there's nothing going on. I mean, there's just a couple of thunderstorms to the south of Jamaica, a couple storms over Nicaragua. There's nothing out there right now, but the National Hurricane Center, looking at the forecast simulations, are saying there's a chance that we could get a tropical wave or a trough developing in this area over the next 5 days. And if that happens, there's a low chance that it could develop. And why are they giving it a low probability of development? Because the models are not agreeing on that solution. One model going gung-ho, developing a system. The others are just saying nothing's going to happen. We're not going to see anything. So because of that, it's a low probability for development. But if it does happen, the timeline would look something like this. We could see, the first semblance of a tropical wave sometime around Thursday to maybe Friday. By Friday evening, it starts to lift to the north and it gets close to the Yucatan. And by that point, if there's something on the map, then it's going to interact with the Yucatan. So we're talking about land interaction, which could interrupt any type of circulation, any type of development. And then by Saturday, we're outside of the development blob here, but if this thing develops or if it holds together, by Saturday, now we're talking about it moving back over open water here in the southern Gulf of Mexico. And that is when we would really need to keep a close eye on it to see which direction does it potentially go. And again, there's a lot of what ifs here. Does it develop? Does it make it past the Yucatan? So that's just the general timeline that we're looking at here. It's Thursday through this Saturday that we're going to be watching that part of the world. All right, let's give you a model comparison. So in the yellow, we've got the GFS. That's the American computer model. In the red, that's the European model. We'll start it today, Sunday, August 28th, and we'll run the clock here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, nothing going on. And then by the end of the week, notice a few blips starting to show up there on the map. That's the American model. That's the one model that I was talking about that's kind of waving its arms saying, hey, we could see something here maybe by the end of the week. There's no red, though, nothing from the European model. So the American model kind of alone here in this solution of developing something. And beyond this point, model reliability after 5 and 6 days really goes downhill. So I'm not going to show you anything, but the timing here, now we're looking into Labor Day weekend. So it's Saturday, September 3rd that we could potentially see an area of low pressure over the Yucatan, but that's just one model simulation. Let's take a look at what the Euro is thinking. Just to kind of play it fair here. So what we've got plotted is atmospheric moisture and wind streams. So what you were looking for here for a tropical system is a closed area in the wind streams, a closed area of circulation, and also brighter green colors, which would indicate high atmospheric moisture content. So we'll start it today, August 28th, and we'll run the clock all the way through the end of the week. And notice we don't have a closed area of circulation, but we do have a bend in the wind streams, indicating the potential for some sort of area of disturbed weather. We call it an open tropical wave. Why do we call it a wave? Because it literally looks like a wave in the wind pattern. And you get that brighter green there, indicating a lot of potential for thunderstorm development. So big thunderstorm development potential, a little bit of a wave in the energy in the atmosphere. So that kind of leads us to believe that maybe there could be some area of disturbed weather here. And the timing, it matches up on both. European, American computer models both agreeing that towards the end of the week, we could see something here, but the solutions are very different. American model develops something, European model does not. Bottom line, this time of year, this close to the United States, we're going to have to keep a very close eye on that part of the world. Let's talk about that other area quickly out towards the middle of the Atlantic. This is the one that has high odds for developing. Both models very much in agreement here. So again, the Americans in yellow, the European model in red. We'll start the clock and we play it through, and we'll stop the clock around the middle part of the week. Notice we're still in good agreement here that it's an organized system potentially, but it's still weak. So this is by Wednesday, last day of August, and we're pretty far to the pretty far to the east here of the Antilles. This is about 500 to 600 miles to the east of the Antilles, so still not an issue for land. Let's keep running the clock now. We'll get into the end of the week and into the weekend. Things start to move quicker, and also look at how many lines we're dealing with now. Remember, the more lines, the tighter those lines are packed, the stronger the potential for a system. So now we're into Labor Day weekend again, September 3rd, and we've missed the Antilles. We've missed Puerto Rico, Hispaniola. We're getting close now to the Bahamas, and we're also going to have to keep a very close eye on this potential development for Florida. Okay, so this, again, timing for this is going to be Labor Day weekend. So Saturday, it's still over open water. It hasn't reached the Bahamas yet, but as we get into Monday and Tuesday, we'll have to wait to see what this thing does. Now, all of this boost in activity matches up with exactly what we should be seeing this time of year. This is not unusual. This is expected. What is unusual is actually how quiet it's been so far this season, but we are now in the busiest part, traditionally, historically speaking, of what hurricane season looks like. The peak of the season coming up here on September 10th. We're about 2 weeks away from that. So this is typically the time of year when we start to see a big ramp up in activity. So there's two big players that we're going to be watching here on the board this coming week, the area in the Caribbean, the area in the middle of the Atlantic. The other two, the one near Bermuda, is likely to go north and out to sea and weaken. And then the other spot, that fourth spot out towards Africa, that's about 2 weeks away from any potential impacts here in the U.S. So we're going to be watching all of this very carefully. We'll be doing these updates on digital, on TV, on YouTube, online here all week long as more pops up. But please, any questions, comments, concerns, let us know on social media. And thank you so much for watching.